Okay, today I'm going to show you how I recreated this scene, this accident between this pickup and this Chrysler LeBaron. So these are screenshots from Rhino 3D. They're not really rendered. I mean, it's rendered in real time, which I'll show you at the end of the video. So you can kind of see they're aligned, basically the orientation at impact, and the visuals are really pretty impressive. Top view, nice top view. So, of course, what you start out with is actually scanning the vehicle, which here's a picture of the LeBaron. And one of the things you'll notice is that the door is open on the passenger side, which is not really possible since when the impact happened, because there's severe damage on the left side. That's obviously opened by the emergency response crew to get the victims out. So that's something we're going to have to fix. And let's see, here's a picture of pickup as it was scanned. So you can see it's just at a wrecker lot. Forget the name of it. So anyway, that's what we're working with. So of course we start with the scan file, and here it is, basically without all the irrelevant geometry in here. You can see, for a white car, the scanner, this was a Faro X330, and this is the Faro scene that I'm using. The Faro scanners do really well with white cars. In fact, they actually do really well with red cars too. So this scan is actually pretty good. I think there were 4 scans basically at each corner. And you can see down at the bottom, it says 111 million points. I'm not sure if that includes the entire thing that I deleted or not. Of course, one of the problems with point clouds is that every time you rotate it, it's got to redraw it, and things get really confusing once you start to zoom in. And this was actually one I scanned, and I probably didn't use the correct metering. It's a little washed out, the color is. So you can kind of see the limitations there, and most of that's going to be fixed after I convert it to a mesh. And here's the pickup scan. Rotate it. Of course, this is a red vehicle. It does really well with red vehicles too. But you can still see that you have the redraw problem, and then you look at the top view, there's missing data in the bed that's kind of confusing for people to look at, on the roof, stuff like that. And then you get a lot of noisy points with the windows and stuff. But actually this is probably one of the best scans I've worked with, which is will kind of show, even with the best scans you have, how much an improvement a textured mesh will have. So this is 138 million points. Again, I don't know if that's, let's see if I can select. Maybe I'll just count the selected ones. No, it says the same thing. Okay. All right, so we'll move this out of the way. This out of the way. And then we'll bring in what it looks like in Rhino 3D. So here's the LeBaron in Rhino 3D. And you can see, you can zoom in. You can read the numbers. There are some artifacts that happen. It's just going to be a fact of 3D scanning, any kind of processing you do. But it's really clean, and compared to the point cloud. You can zoom in and see like the rust, and if you had like little details, you know, you can see how easily you can see the pinstriping, stuff like that. So, of course, we have the problem with the door, and one of the things I did for this project is I made it separate, so we can actually take it and use a nice 3D program like Rhino and realign it. So I'm going to do a quick realignment. Just kind of rotate it this way to kind of match this curve. Slide it over there. I'm not going to get it exact. That's for the reconstructionist to do, which is not me. And then we'll do this view and kind of raise it up. We'll rotate it a little bit that way. Slide it over. And I think we want to rotate it. Reset this gumball. I think I want to rotate it this way a little bit. A little bit more. Reset the gumball again. If I can see it. Let me go on the top view. Okay. And that pretty much matches the line and everything. And looks pretty good. Probably not perfect. But there you can see. So this mesh is, you saw the total point cloud was about over 100 million points. This mesh is 500,000. And we'll see with the pickup, it actually still looks good even at 150,000 and even at 50,000 polygons. So makes it really easy to share. I'm using this on a relatively modest computer. It's about $1,000 to build, and there's no performance lag. You can rotate it and show anything you want. And I'll show you the pickup. We have three different versions of the pickup. So, and I'll show you those. They're all on top of each other. So we have, let's see. Actually, we have 4 different versions. So I'll show you the highest version, highest resolution. Oops. So this is 500,000 polygons. You can see there's, the color looks great. Top view looks great. Even though this one could have benefited from some higher elevation. Some pictures taken at a higher elevation of the roof and stuff. Colors all kind of blend together. There's no harsh color changes between scans. You will get some of these artifacts. That's something I'm working on, but they prove to be very difficult to remove. And it's basically just when the pictures were projected on here, there was just a little bit that went past this chrome railing here and hit that, and that's kind of what it looks like. But you can see the detail. You can read the Interstate logo on there. You can see the chrome. The smiley face that was for some reason drawn on the windshield, and so just really good quality. So you can see that. Here, I'll move this out of the way so you can kind of see. So that's 500,000. We'll bring in our 150,000. So this is 500,000. It's got a 4K texture on it. I think it's 4096 by 4096 pixels. And this only has a 2K, so it's 2048 by 2048. So you can see, you still have some. You can still read the Interstate. The texture actually looks pretty much just as good. But you can see some blockiness that comes in. This resolution is great for 3D PDFs, and encourage you to watch that video. Putting this model into a 3D PDF is under 10 megabytes, making it really easy to email. So that's 150K. So I'll move both these over. We'll go to 50. So that's 150K. We'll bring in our 50K, which is really good for a web demo through Iris, which is kind of a work in progress. So this is 50K with a 1K texture, 1024 by 1024. You can see you get a lot more blockiness, but it still has the basic shape. You get some differing artifacts. You can still read like the smiley face, and you still get the general idea. And then I've kind of quit doing the 15K, but you can kind of see what it looks like. So it gets really blocky. This is a 1K texture still, but still looks, especially when you zoom out, you can't really tell. So anyway, let me undo all that movement. Oops, not gonna let me. Well, let me just turn off all these. We're gonna work with the highest resolution one, so we make this look as good as possible. And what we're going to do is align it with the LeBaron. So I'm going to turn on the LeBaron and its door that we realigned. And I'm going to go to a top view, and I'm going to just rotate this. And we'll move it over here. Make sure that our heights are about the same. They're a little bit off. So I will move this up a little bit. And you can kind of see, I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to reconstruct this, but you can kind of see maybe that's the A-pillar that came in contact with the hood. So you could try and align that. There's a lot of things you could key off of. Of course, there's probably a little bit of rebound. Who knows what happened. So that looks really good, and you really get a really good idea of the severity of the accident and how they came together. With Rhino, if you had like an aerial photo, you could, put a nice little plane down there with the Google Maps. Put that down. So to make this look nice rendering wise, there's a couple things you can do. You can select it and go to properties and material, give it a little bit of a gloss finish, make this color I kind of like a light yellow. Kind of gives it a nice thing. So you can kind of see a nice little sheen. We'll do the same thing with the LeBaron. Select it with the door. Give a little bit of gloss. Color picker, yellow. 174. Nice light yellow. So that makes it look pretty good. And then we can add lights. So I'm going to type in lights. And what you get is this menu here. Put the sun down. We'll adjust that a little bit. Put the ground plane if you want to get kind of fancy. Give it a little reflection. We'll adjust the sun, make it manual, and whatever. You can kind of see. There's a lot of things you can do. You can add your own lights, you can add your own cameras, but you get a really nice visual that's almost, animation quality, and this is in real time too. So it's not even, I have to spend 4 hours rendering it. This is basically how I do a lot of my turntables you might see on YouTube. So anyway, that kind of concludes this demonstration. Make sure to follow ScanningCars for more updates. Thanks.